Today is March 13th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today at the Big Book, we are right in the heart of Chapter 5, How It Works. We'll be reading page 60 today. Out of the 12 and 12, we are finishing up Step 8. We'll read page 82, and of course, we read 24 hours a day and daily reflection. So with that, hope you all are doing well this morning, my friends. Happy Friday the 13th. Ooh, spooky. But hey, you know what? I'm not all that scared. You know why? Because I'm comforted with the fact that I woke up sober today. And I trust in my higher power. But on a side note, I do love horror movies. That's one thing I really enjoy. So maybe I'll have to watch, a Jason movie today or something like that, just to commemorate this Friday the 13th. Which I believe is 2 Friday 13ths in a row. I think there was one in February too, so you know what? I might have to watch 2 today since I don't think I did one the last one. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. All right, my friends. So if you recall from yesterday's reading, we got through listing every single step. And talked even before that about honesty and thoroughness and half measures availing us nothing. And then we got to the steps, and then we kind of highlighted step 1 and step 2 with A, that we're alcoholic and could not manage our own lives, B, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism, and C, that God could and would if he were sought. So today we're talking primarily about step 3. We'll be reading the next 2 paragraphs. So bottom of page 60 and top of 61. Being convinced, we were at step 3, which is that we decided to turn our will and our life over to the care of God as we understood him. Just what do we mean by that? And just what do we do? The first requirement is that we be convinced that any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. On that basis, we are almost always in collision with something or somebody, even though our motives are good. Most people try to live by self-propulsion. Each person is like an actor who wants to run the whole show, is forever trying to arrange the lights, the ballet, the scenery, and the rest of the players in his own way. If his arrangements would only stay put, if only people would do as he wished, the show would be great. Everybody, including himself, would be pleased. Life would be wonderful. In trying to make these arrangements, our actor may sometimes be quite virtuous. He may be kind, considerate, patient, generous, even modest and self-sacrificing. On the other hand, he may be mean, egotistical, selfish, and dishonest. But, as with most humans, he is more likely to have varied traits. What usually happens? The show doesn't come off very well. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on step 8. Made a list of all persons we'd harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. For the last few pages, we've been talking about some of the obstacles that might have stood in our way regarding, making progress on this step. Minimizing our own parts in the situation, maximizing the other person's faults, or maybe fear has paralyzed us from doing this step. And other things, but if we just try to stay thorough here, as it says on 81, having carefully surveyed this whole area of human relations and having decided exactly what personality traits in us injured and disturbed others, we can now commence to ransack memory for the people to whom we've given offense. And then a little bit later, and then once again, we should, of course, ponder and weigh each instance carefully. So we are going to finish off the chapter, page 82. Very, very short reading today. We should avoid extreme judgments, both of ourselves and of others involved. We must not exaggerate our defects or theirs. A quiet, objective view will be our steadfast aim. Whenever our pencil falters, we can fortify and cheer ourselves by remembering what AA experience in this step has meant to others. It is the beginning of the end of isolation from our fellows and from God. 24 hours a day, March 13th. AA Thought for the Day. We've gotten rid of our false drinking selves and found our real sober selves. And we turn to God, our Father, for help, just as the prodigal son arose and went to his father. At the end of the story, the father of the prodigal son says, "He was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." We alcoholics who have found sobriety in AA were certainly dead and are alive again. We were lost and we are found. Am I alive again? Meditation for the day. Gently breathe in God's Spirit. That Spirit which, if not barred out by selfishness, will enable you to do good works. This means rather that God will be enabled to do good works through you. You can become a channel for God's Spirit to flow through you and into the lives of others. The works that you do will only be limited by your spiritual development. Let your spirit be in harmony with God's Spirit, and there is no limit to what you can do in the realm of human relationships. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may become a channel for God's Spirit. I pray that God's Spirit may flow through me into the lives of others. Daily Reflection, March 13th. A World of the Spirit. We have entered the world of the Spirit. Our next function is to grow in understanding and effectiveness. This is not an overnight matter. It should continue for our lifetime. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 84. The word entered and the phrase entered into the world of the Spirit are very significant. They imply action, a beginning, getting into, a prerequisite to maintaining my spiritual growth. The Spirit being the immaterial part of me. Barriers to my spiritual growth are self-centeredness and a materialistic focus on worldly things. Spirituality means devotion to spiritual instead of worldly things. It means obedience to God's will for me. I understand spiritual things to be unconditional love, joy, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, self-control, and humility. Anytime I allow selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear to be part of me, I block out spiritual things. As I maintain my sobriety, growing spirituality becomes a lifelong process. My goal is spiritual growth, accepting that I will never have spiritual perfection. All right, my friends, that concludes today's reading. And man, it was short reading today, but man, it was good stuff. My goodness. So, real quick about the actor on the stage, part of step 3, they're going to make an illustration in the next page or so of being this director that wants to direct everybody around them. And I am certainly guilty of this in a way where I didn't know I was doing this, but when I started doing the steps, I had to look kind of ruthlessly at some of the things I did. And I was putting on a mask for everybody, hoping to manipulate a certain situation to where you would like me, because I didn't like myself. So I've been that director. And guess what? When I didn't get the validation I was looking for or whatever, I'd get more desperate to get it, or resentful that I didn't get it. Once again, all because I didn't like who I was. I didn't like the man in the mirror. And then real quick out of the 12 and 12, I love what it says at the very end. Meanwhile, forgiving the wrongs done us, real or fancied, we should avoid extreme judgments, both of ourselves and of others involved. I love that. My number one resentment has always been me. So to see this line, we should avoid extreme judgment of ourselves. That helps me so much. Instead of thinking of all the people I'd harmed, all the things I did wrong, and just hating myself for it. I love the follow-up line. We must not exaggerate our defects or theirs. A quiet, objective view will be our steadfast aim. A quiet, objective view. So going, okay, these are the things I've done wrong. These are the people that I've harmed. What was the root cause here? And what can I do to make sure that doesn't happen again? Being constructive about it, right? Instead of thinking I'm a horrible human being and all these things. Because again, if I think that, I get stuck in isolation. I don't want to do anything to fix the problem because I'm too consumed by being defeated, too consumed in my self-loathing. And I isolate. And isolation for me is a killer. And finally, I love the prodigal son story. That's one of my favorite stories in the big book, right? When we were in alcoholism, we were dead inside. And now we've come back home. And I love how the father responds. He doesn't say, I told you so, son. I told you so. He celebrates. They have a big feast together. And it's almost like he's saying, son, I've been waiting for this moment. I am so glad you're back. I just think it's one of my favorite stories in the big book, right? And I'm so glad that they talked about it here in the 24 hours a day. And finally, like the fruits of sobriety, the fruits of the Spirit here in the daily reflections. Listen to this. I used to always pray, God, please take away my selfishness, my fear, and all these things. But I would never ask for the things to replace it with. The nice thing is, even though I didn't ask, sometimes I was given these things in sobriety. Right here, I understand spiritual things to be unconditional love. Kind of like that father in the prodigal son story. Joy, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, self-control, and humility. That list right there. These are things that I'm experiencing, and hopefully I can help others to experience around me. All thanks to my higher power, enabling me to be sober one more day. What a blessing, man. Oof, I got goosebumps this morning. But my friends, that's all we have time for today. I hope you have a great day today, and please know, as always, I don't speak on behalf of AA, NA, Al-Anon, any other sect. Obviously, I'm not a professional narrator. I'm just a dude reading these books that mean so much to me. If you are sober today, my friend, I hope you know that you're a miracle, and you are giving a great gift to all those around you. And you have a unique superpower to help the next suffering alcoholic. And if you're not sober today, I hope you know that you're a miracle as well, that you have great worth, and you're worthy of recovery. I hope you understand that. You don't have to live this way anymore. And your story is not done yet. And the nice thing is, you don't even have to do this alone. This is a we program, and we're here to help. We've got your back. So I pray today that you would get the help that you need to make that first step toward a new direction in the sunlight of the Spirit. But with that, my friends, if we were given another set of 24 hours, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.